I'm going to take the popper that we designed in my longer full tutorial, and we're going to just add a chamber to it so that we can add a weight or a rattle. So this was the file we left off with, and we're going to create something like this. And we're going to do that so you can attract really cool fish like this one here. So here I have a copy of the file that we created in the long form tutorial. And what I want to do is hide this bait, and I'm going to show the side profile, and I'm going to show our rigging sketch. All right, we're going to create a real simple sketch on the YZ or side plane. And I'm going to bring in the geometry from that rigging sketch and the side profile. And I'm going to get out of my tool and go to the model and hide those sketches just so it's visually a little easier to work with. I'm going to create a series of simple line segments. And then straighten out actually both of these lines that didn't come out straight. And I want to attach the top of this line to that external geometry. I'll use the coincidence constraint for that. This one already got set. Next, I'm going to set a distance here, and I'm going to distance that line segment as 1 millimeter. I have found that 1 millimeter is more than enough of a wall for a strong lure. So then I'll select that line, the other line, I'll make them equal, and then I'm going to set some distance between this weight chamber and that rigging hole. This I like to keep a little meatier at 1.5 millimeters. Of course, you can affect this with your wall count in your slicer when you go to do that. We're almost done. I just need an arc. I will create a arc by 3 points and drop it on that line and that line. And then I want to constrain this, so I will go ahead and drop a construction line between that arc and that B-spline, external geometry, and make it vertical as well. And before I set its height, I'm going to set its horizontal distance. Otherwise, it'll jump on us. Oops. Let's do Control Z. Grab that point and that point. My distance tool is not wanting to work for me. Let's do this a different way. Let me select this point and this point and use the distance from here. Constrain horizontal distance. And since it's already close to 17, I'll just round it. Make this line vertical. And then I want to make this line to be the same distance as this. In other words, 1 millimeter. Hit the equal sign. All right, we're fully constrained. Our sketch is green. Let's close out of it. I'm going to name this weight chamber sketch. Throw it on my clipboard and come up here in the part workbench and do a revolve. Oh, I've got one problem. I forgot to do in the sketch. Let's go back. I need to take these top 2 lines, this one and this one, and convert them to construction geometry. Okay, I didn't want that as part of my revolve. So back into the revolve, and here I will choose select reference and choose that line and say okay. Rename that to weight chamber. And just like we did in the longer design video, I'm going to add it to my fusion here of all the things that I'm cutting from the body. So I will scroll down, choose the weight chamber and say okay. Now, if I bring the body visible again, you're not going to see it because it's inside the lure. And an easy way to see that is just to come down to the Properties tab on the View and come down to Object Style here and bump up the transparency. And you can see now that our transparency, you can see that hole that's inside there. Of course, when you take this out and slice it, you're going to see it. So the last thing we're going to do is select the object, File Export, and I will export this as an STL or a step file, either one. I'll just go ahead and go with step. Then I will open my slicer. Okay, I'm in my slicer, and I'm going to use this auto orient to just stand it up on the flat edge. And then I'm going to slice it, and I'm going to switch over to line type because it makes it a little easier to see. I'm just going to drag down until we get to that weight chamber there. At that layer, we're going to start filling the bait in with infill again. So I'm just going to come right down below that layer and then right click on this plus sign and say add a pause. And when you do that, you have to reslice. Now, when you send this to your printer, you'll get a pause and you can drop some BBs in there. I like to just use regular BBs that you get from your sporting goods store, same place you buy all your fishing tackle, and just buy some BBs. And I drop a few in here and then resume the print, and we're good to go. Happy fishing.